Okay, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Real Sync, our informal channel where we talk to clients to learn a little bit about their business and how they're seeing the world. And of course, this is a little bit of a different one because we live in a different world. And so I'm here with my good friends, Dwayne Murphy and Shane Kilby.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. It's morning where I'm at. It's afternoon where you guys are at now.
Yeah, just barely. Times have changed now, so morning goes later. So I'll come into this to you guys in a second, but I wanted to talk for 1 minute about our goal here today, because we do live in very uncertain, very scary times, and I want to make sure that everyone understands we're not minimizing the situation in any way. It is critical that everyone follow your government guidelines and do what needs to be done to contain the virus. But we also think that this is a time of incredible opportunity. I personally believe that people are starving for human relationships right now as they've never been before. And no matter what happens in the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, the truth is by the end of the year, 4 to 5 million homes will have been sold. That is not in question. What's in question is who is going to take that business. And I think that business will go to whoever has the means and the mindset to establish human relationships now when people are needing to talk to other people that have broader views, that know what's happening in the world, and establish that human connection first so that you can earn their business, earn their trust. And because of that, I've brought, of course, 2 people that I know see the world a little bit like I do, to see what they're doing today to attack the situation and to prepare themselves for this moment and for the moments to come. But I know that every state is different. So from what they say and what they're doing, take what works for you. And what cannot be done in your state. I'm also open to do another one of these next week with people in different states to see how each one is handling it. So again, what we want is to be hearing from you and to be sharing amongst the different people in our family how other people are tackling it. So with that, Wayne, Shane, who wants to start and tell me how are you handling the situation?
Doesn't matter. I mean, I'll go ahead and take lead on that. You know, I mean, it's hit us like it's hit anyone else. You know, of course, right off the bat, you know, agents, you know, wondering what the next move is, this, that, and the other. And as soon as we just kind of caught our breath and kind of, you know, realized what was taking place, we just we shifted into our, you know, leveraging all the tech tools that we already have through Zoom and GoToWebinar and stuff like that, GoToMeeting. And we just really just kind of, you know, shifted our mindset. And we have a large database, and we have a large database of people we've done business with, and we've got a large database of future clients. And so immediately our focus was to, okay, you know, we have to keep pushing, right? So what if somebody says this? What if somebody says that? And so we just come to the conclusion, let's push forward and let's deal with each obstacle as it comes, right? Since we're all in the problem solving business, let's go dig deep and see what problems are out there.
But Shane, let me interrupt you for a second. So what do you do when an agent is coming back to you and saying, how can I call someone now in the middle of all of this? What do I say in that call? How do I engage them?
Yeah, so I mean, we don't want to. We definitely are not trying to pour salt in an open wound, but our focus is to be a voice of reason. So even with the agents that we have, that now is better than ever for the captive audience that we have under the circumstances. For the agents that we have in all of our organizations that have call reluctancy, the same message is, you know, what do I say, what I say, what I say. And most agents are call reluctant to start with because they're not comfortable with the scripts and role play. So now it's more like I've told my agents when that same scenario's popped up multiple times with different agents, and it's like, okay, what would you want someone to say to you in the same circumstances, in the same situation? So when we're calling from a servant mindset, Yes, we can follow scripts, but what we want to do is check on them, make sure they're doing good, make sure they have the basic essentials and necessity of life, right? So I give you a perfect example, and we'll let Dwayne, tell a little bit about his situation. But right off the bat, we were getting some leads and some contacts that were saying, "Hey, I've just gotten laid off. I'm not interested. We're going to put everything on hold, and we're going to wait till another time." And so our focus immediately in that situation is, tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little bit about your situation as far as, Alvaro, where did you get laid off from? What company was this with? What was your role? What did you do there? What was your skill set? And then we want to dig deep as far as, Alvaro, what other skill sets do you have, right? So you've been in maintenance for 15 years. That's fantastic, man. That's awesome. This is temporary. All right, we're going to get back full steam ahead. But in the meantime, this is what I'm going to be doing all day, every day is working with potential clients, future clients, or whatever that may have to push that off in the distance. But I'm also coming in contact with people. Say if Dwayne's got a business that's expanding, right? We know there are a lot of businesses contracting.
Oh, you Shane?
We're able to connect the dots. So yes.
I think we got it. We got you back. I don't know how your connection is going. Let's jump to Dwayne. But I'll say one thing.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. One comment on that. What I love about that is, I think this is a moment where you cannot be transactional. If you're coming in and saying, "Oh, if you're not buying in the next 2 months, I don't want to talk to you," then you're already out of the game. But if that person that is out of a job and today thinks it's impossible to do a transaction of any way, you're still there to talk to them and to be there for them, you can expect that business to come your way when it happens. But Dwayne, what were you going to say?
I agree with Shane. What we've been trying to tell the agents and teach the agents is, right now it's more about the conversation than ever. It's not about the hard sale. It's not about the hard close. It's build those relationships, come from a point of wanting to help them, trying to help them, seeing what you can do to them. And sometimes it's just listening.
Yeah.
Just listen to them, right? A lot of people are going through stressful situations, right? They're homeschooling, so now they're wearing a teacher hat, and they're and they're still trying to work, and they're right in their office is their dining room table, and so that's a tough situation. We have to be understanding to that, and if you build those relationships now and not be all about the sale and be more about the people, more so than ever, they're going to come back to you when they're ready, and they're all going to be ready, right?
Yes.
This little thing that's happening right now, it is short term. Now it might go on for an extended period of time, right? Nobody has a crystal ball, but we'll recover from this, and real estate's going to recover faster than anything else out there. So
Yes.
Do the things you need to do today to build those relationships, to help them where you can, to listen to them, and they're going to come back to you, and they're going to use you to help them with real estate in the future. And there's not only that, but there's a ton of people out there yet today that are like, I don't care what's going on out there, I still have to buy a house, I still have to sell a house. So it's listening to those that aren't ready to do it today, that might have delayed their plans, but then still going out and finding those ones that need to and want to. And there's a ton of those out there right now too.
What have you seen on that? Do you have, like, your last week, what appointments, closings? Have you still seen movement? We never said what markets you're in. Why don't you tell where you are and tell us what happened in the last week from a numbers point of view?
Yeah, so I was just taking a peek at my board. So we're in central Wisconsin, northeast Wisconsin. We cover kind of the entire middle section of Wisconsin, which is, for most of you all, that's right underneath Green Bay. So go Pack go. When you look at our board, we put up 8 accepted offers in the last 2 days, and the state is on essentially a lockdown. So now real estate's still an essential business practice, so thank you for that. But we put up 8 accepted offers in the last 2 days since the state has gone on lockdown. So it's a mindset on if you're going to let this market control you, or if you're going to go out there and do what you need to do.
Were you on the buyer side or seller side in those 8 offers?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Wow.
Mostly buyer side.
And are you still doing like listing appointments and people, or are people not listing at this moment, waiting to see what happens?
Well, there's been obviously, without a doubt, there's been a dramatic decrease in the amount of listings. So inventory is even tighter.
Yeah.
But they're still happening. I mean, we're still listing homes. We're still on pace for last March was our best March we ever had in our company history. And we're just a few transactions away from rolling that in the middle of all of this.
Wow.
So again, it's a like Shane said, it's a mindset on are you
And
gonna
I think,
yeah.
like Dwayne, you and I, we were talking with some other agents yesterday about the database that we have now is more critically important than ever for sellers, right? Because yesterday, or I mean, a month ago, before COVID-19, before the coronavirus pandemic, right? Sellers everywhere. It's selling season, right? So everything's kind of bottlenecked. Everybody's kind of standing back, seeing what's going to take place. But now your database is like, it's always been the key to the heart to our business, but now it's even more so because it's like, all right, Dwayne, I can, I have a database of almost 41,000 buyers and sellers that I can market to internally. So we can actually control and bottleneck and really minimize how much foot traffic is going through your property to get this property sold. And let me show you all. We've been using it for years. It's nothing new and revolutionary. We've been using it for years to be able to minimize the people that are coming through the property that aren't potential buyers anyway, right? And it's always our focus before coronavirus to keep your property safe and sound. So now more than ever, these databases that we all have with Commissions Inc. or any database we've got out there, even your agent's SOI database that may not be in the system. Now more than ever, we can leverage those databases, with these sellers to get them to motivate to come on the market, because you can show them the stats. As far as the stats, I mean, we're like you guys, Dwayne. I mean, we're putting contracts. I mean, honest to goodness, talking about attempt to contact to the actual conversation is through the roof. I mean, through the roof. It has been chaotic ever since this started full swing a couple of weeks ago now. But I speak to all of my agents, and I talked to one of my biggest producing agents day before yesterday. I knew we were going to get on this call, and I wanted to have the most up-to-date information from the horse's mouth of my people that are beating the bush and in the trenches, digging making the tough hauls. So I asked him, I said, what's the temperament? What do you feel like? I knew what my other agents had given me in response, but I wanted his response directly. And he tells me, he says, I've been with you on this platform since 2013 or 14 or whatever it was. He said, never have I ever been able to have conversations and set appointments like I have the last 2 weeks. It's crazy. It's crazy. And now listen, this isn't a guy that prospects a couple hours a day. This is a guy that sets 80% of the appointments on his team. We're a hybrid brokerage, so we got multiple teams inside of our company. But he is the team leader of that team, and he sets 80% of those appointments himself. So it's not like he's going through another party. This is directly from him with these conversations happen every day. We're actually, and to add to Dwayne, by pushing forward and all of our agents getting involved in these conversations, we've got people that are coming in from out of town. Words verbatim, day before yesterday, guys, a $400,000 buyer, that's twice our market average. It just is what it is. We're a volume brokerage. And he says, finally, I get to come look at the 3 properties that I've had my eyes on for a month, and I've just now been able to get a breather at my work because of this chaos. So I'm coming to town and I'm writing a contract.
And how do you handle, because all that you're saying is absolutely true, but the problem is timing, no? And a lot of your agents are living commission to commission, and they, on one hand, you need to keep them pumped up and focused on the business that they're earning now, that is 4 months from now. But there's also the fact of whether they can pay their rent bill tomorrow. So how are you guys facing that? How are you helping carry your teams mentally, economically? What are you doing?
You want to go, Dwayne, or you want me to go? Go ahead.
I'll start with that. It comes down to opportunity, right? Our job is to provide training, provide leadership, the coaching, mentorship, and then provide opportunity, right? And the one thing we can't do is we can't do it for them. Yeah. I can show you where the water is. I can show you everything you need to do to drink that water, to do what you need to do. But bottom line, at the end of the day, all of our agents, right, everybody on the call, you have to be willing to go do it yourself. I can't do it for all 30 of my agents. I just can't. I would like to, but you can't. So I'm going to do everything that I can on my end of it to make sure that they have all the tools, all the equipment, right? And I mean, we've doubled down on our marketing spend, right? It's not a time to pull back. You got to be smart.
Are you doing like once a week or every day? How do you, because it's all about them keeping the strength to keep doing that.
It is. And now it's more important than ever, right? We always did our weekly meetings and our touches, and now you have to be even more intentional on making sure that they don't feel out on an island. You have to be more intentional on making sure you are coaching them up and giving them that motivation and that inspiration, that little, like, hey, we're all in this together, because we are, right? I mean, more so than ever, not only are we in this together as a family, right, in our work family, I mean, we're in this together as a country, right? I mean, this
strength of the pack, strength of the leader, strength of the pack, strength of the leader. You know, and to add to what Dwayne said, we're expanding our training opportunities in our company. We've always, you know, we still bring a lot of agents to Commissions Inc.
Did we lose him?
Yeah. You know, now that we're, you know, we may be doing a lot of things. Can you guys hear me? Am I breaking up?
Yes. Now you're back.
Hello?
You sometimes.
Good. Okay. I think Dwayne matches the brakes when I get started because he wants to steal my thunder everywhere we go.
I have this pause button, like, oh, Kilby's talking.
He's jamming you. Dwayne is jamming you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dwayne. I love you too, brother. But no, we're stepping up our training. We have always done a lot of in-house training. We've always believed in Commissions Inc. training. And so now more than ever, you know, we're pushing our agents more so because, let's face it, most agents struggle because they're trying to sell real estate over the phone. We've never been selling real estate over the phone. We're not even trying to set the appointment until we have a relationship. You know, we have to earn that trust and earn that care and compassion to build that relationship for them to count on us as their expert real estate advisor. So now agents that this is the thing, agents that just got licensed with my company, don't know anything about scripts. Hit this dialer. Let's start right here and just start asking people what their thought process is. Yes, here's the script. Read the script, right? If you get the I'm unemployed. Right now all I'm worried about is food, water, shelter. Okay, put that on hold. Let's shift and focus on that human need right now today.
You get them super fresh, no? Can you get them directly from the academy, from your academy?
Some of the students that we have in our real estate class do come to our company. That's not why we have the real estate class. I mean, we have the real estate class because if they work with us, fantastic. If they don't work with us, then we've got a better working relationship on the other side of the table. And I want to touch on that just 1 second because I was teaching Monday night a 6 to 9 class, and we were on video conference with Zoom. And the first thing that everybody wanted to talk was, it seemed like it was a third of the class that had been laid off, right? And so everybody's like, yeah, Bob, these people are close. After 12 weeks together, or about 9 right now, they become really close knit. So their heart's pouring out for the third of the class that lost their employment. And I said, folks, I said, hold up just 1 second. Let me doctor your mindset a little bit. Do you know how long I've been unemployed? Since my last closing today at 4 o'clock. Okay. So as a real estate professional, we are unemployed after every transaction closes. We get our severance package and our commission check. And then if we've been prospecting, if we've been working, we've been having conversations, those conversations and attempts, that's us sending out resumes, right?
Yes.
So when we have good conversation, that's us getting an interview. And we get that follow-up call, that's a second interview. And if they hire us, then we're going to be their agent and we're going to actually go back and be employed again. So that's what I told them. I said, ladies and gentlemen, you're 3 weeks away from getting out of this real estate class. And now I hate to tell you this, now is the best time ever because I came in the business in the disruption, right, in 06, or the disruption was about to happen, right? And every year my production increased because I couldn't focus on all the negatives. I only had one option. That was going to be successful in the business. I told them the same thing. I said, understand this. I said, you're being laid off is just temporary. That is just temporary, right? It's not going to matter in 5 years. But you all have been in class for 9 weeks to get into a profession where you're going to be laid off every 4 to 6 weeks, right? And so if you're going to be laid off every 4 to 6 weeks, or or if you have a lot of closing stacked up in between, you're going to get laid off every day. But the fact of the matter is, we're going to go from one to the next, one to the next. And it's just, Dwayne nailed it. You just got to keep pushing forward. It sounds repetitive because you've heard it at SyncU, you've heard it at Conversion Day, you've heard it on conversion calls. But it is that, Dwayne and I work together outside this call, right? We work together on other projects outside of Commissions Inc., right?
Almost
but that is the mission right there. Wake up with purpose and keep pushing the rock. If you do it wrong, just do it and you'll figure out the right answers. But the main thing is let your agents be humble leaders in their community, right? Our local communities look at us to be the experts of what's taking place in the community around us. If we can't stand tall and lead those people in that community, then who are we supposed to sell when the dust clears, when the smoke settles?
Yes. And that is the agent's ultimate role, which is being that trusted advisor. So for me, you touched a good point, I think, on training at Sync in particular. So we are replacing our Sync University Live with live events online, and we're waiving the fees for those events. I think we just did one this week, and we're doing one in 2 weeks again. I would recommend bring your agents in. It's a great way because we're also doing conversion hours, so we're calling people live, and they're seeing how other people are actually having real conversations, and setting virtual tours and doing those things, which I'll ask you now. But I'd say this is the perfect moment to take us up on all of our resources. Our company, Sync, is right now being more fiercely productive than ever before. So much so that I'm wondering why I ever had an office. Like, we have everyone working 20% more than before. The number of conversations we've had with clients in the last week is through the roof. Even our sales, we signed up 5 new platforms yesterday of people that want at this moment to embark on this, and we know how scary it is, and we are amazed that there are people that are still taking those chances because they're seeing that opportunity. So I encourage everyone to absolutely take a look and come into our training as much as you can and send your agents in.
Those are smart agents and teams if they're realizing that they just hitched to the most powerful tech company out there in lead generation CRM, right? Shameless plug, but it's true, right? I mean, the strong will survive, and if you survive, you'll thrive. So, and I got into business at about the same time Kilby did. I didn't realize that, but I got in at the end of 2007. And then someone pulled a plug, right? They pulled the drain right out of the bathtub that was real estate and the economy. And the same way with the agents right now and the teams and the agents, anybody in this business right now, if you survive this and you make it through, you're going to thrive like none other. Especially, I look at my newer agents. I got some of my newer agents that are running circles around agents right now that have been in this business for a long time.
Dwayne,
they don't buy into the Kool-Aid or the coffee, right? They don't buy into the fact that you can't do it right now.
And that's all the difference. And you touched on a point with 2008 that I don't know if people fully realize this. And this is completely different than 2008. 2008 was a real crisis that needed to happen, had been happening for a while. There was a complete oversupply. We're still in over demand. But the thing that amazed me the most when I was looking past at that history is the number of houses sold in 2008 had a 15% drop versus the year before. So we remember it as the end of the world, but 85% of the homes sold of what it had been in the year before, which was one of the top years of all time. And so the delta is not that big. What changes is who captures those transactions. And of course, there's a lot of people that will live this market. There's a lot of real estate agents that will not make it.
Mm-hmm.
And so the question is, who is the hero of Q3? And I think that is born today with the things with what you're saying, because if you don't put in the work is not there. The reason that I despair with the 3 million unemployed that we're seeing is the work that is not being done. It's those people, whether we sustain them through the government and everything, whether we get them through getting the work done makes all the difference in the world. And this year, just as in 2008, the houses are going to get sold. The question is by whom?
By who? By who?
Well, and I've countless times that I have been asked, how is your company, how are your agents that leverage the, Commissions Inc. platform, how are they so successful? And I said, there's two key reasons why our agents produce what they produce on command with the platform. And that is, one, becoming obsessed with the platform and knowing everything that it can do, right? Beforehand, this is something I've said that I blew in the face to my people, to other people who ask me, learn it inside and out, know every tool that's in it, and then step back, is 2 or 3 that you can master, and then if you need something else to bolt on, go back into the system and add that toy, right? But during these times of change is a good time where you know all those tools and you can leverage all those tools, right? And the second thing is stay coachable, stay teachable, and attend these events, right? Whether it's in person or video, we all love the physical events when we're all face to face. Those are just memories built forever, and relationships that are built forever, networking forever, right? But when we can't do that, we got the second best thing, and that's to get on these trainings video wise. I'm just telling you, you can't put a price on that education. I mean, all the top players in this industry have a coach or have had a coach or multiple coaches. If you only realized how much coaching you have from the Commissions Inc. training and the ballers and shot callers that are already in that room, it's 100x. People are paying vast amounts of money to get this knowledge, and it's all in one room. It's all in one room. So leverage, and I'm not, Alvaro did not ask either one of us to get on here and, push the video text, push this. It's not about that. It's about pushing the tools that you have to leverage the position that you're in. I'll give you a perfect example, right? We get the guy that's laid off or whatever. As soon as we have an in-depth conversation, we get his skill set. We offer to follow back up with in a week's time instead of 30 days. We get to check on him in a week, right? Dwayne, in the meantime, I'm gonna see if I can put some links together that Mike can use you for some side hustle until you get back on your feet, until you get called back to work. In the meantime, you reach out to me if you need anything: food, water, shelter, basic essentials, right? And I'm gonna follow back up with you in a few days, next week, okay? And you can follow up with me anytime before then if you like. They give us permission. So where we were following up 30 days in the past, we can follow up in a week, right? And I'm telling the guy, look, if you need food, shelter, essentials, you get in touch with me, myself, and our group of fantastic, God-fearing, providing servants of our community, and our agents will come to that need. And when we hang that phone up, turn around and send that video text, 20 seconds. Hey, Dwayne, it's a pleasure talking with you, man. We're in uncharted waters. We're going to get through this together. We're both in the same community. If you need anything in the meantime, you can reach out to me right here. Thanks so much, and I'll be in touch. Bam, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
20 seconds in and out. After this clears, there's no doubt in my mind that the video text that we're leveraging and sending out will show up on social media. That's not why we do it, but we have that ability to put a face with a name and say thank you for your time, although you're locked in quarantine with your kids and everyone else is driving you crazy. All right, now let's flip the script for just a second. Has anybody that's on this call ever had people be rude to them or hang up on them? Absolutely. If you're prospecting for a living, which is sales 101, you're going to get people that are rude to you, right? Yeah. So if I prospect Dwayne and Dwayne's like, I'm not interested, I know how you got my number, click. hangs up on me. I don't even get a chance to move to the next step. You know, I'm going to open up that my cell phone or go to the dashboard and send a video text to that same number, apologizing for interrupting their day. I just want to let you know, Dwayne, that we're in this community together. We're going through the same trial and tribulations you are. If you need food, shelter, essentials, water, any of those necessities of life, please don't hesitate to reach back to me or my team. And we would love the opportunity to help you in that time of need.
I'm finding
when that person gets that video.
Yeah, and I'm finding, Sheena, and I think you are too from your team. I mean, I'm finding that there's less and less that won't have a conversation. Like, there's very few that will hang up on you right now because they just want to talk to someone
Absolutely.
who's not locked in their house with them.
Even
right?
you with the accent, Dwayne. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want to talk to their spouse. They don't want to, the kids aren't talking to them already. Right. So
I can prove that theory because when my wife found out, my wife is an aggressive, successful mortgage loan officer, branch manager. And when she got the notification yesterday that our 4-year-old wasn't going back to school till August, my life changed for right. And so I know that she's looking to talk to anybody but me because I'm telling her it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. She's like, I hate you. I don't want to talk to you right now. I know it's going to be okay, but I still have a 4-year-old to babysit for August. So everybody's wanting to talk on the phone today. The conversation are meant.
And by the way, guys, as we start closing this, like, feel free to ask any questions. We're reading them on the side, and I'll read them out loud. But I fully agree with what you're saying. I think we've been amazed when all of this started. We thought that lead gen was going to go down, that cost per lead was going to go up. And we've seen the reverse. We saw a dip in the first 2 days because everyone was watching Fox and CNN and doing little else. And then it started to spike back up. In fact, Facebook is 7% down. Google is back to where it was before the crisis. We're seeing some patterns change. And if to anyone that is very interested in what's going on lead generation state by state, we're doing another session like this on Monday, I think, with Dan Lott and Harry Kerbo, with our experts in lead generation, so we can go play by play, showing what's going on. But what I think the combination of, I think there's 3 factors. One, people have more time and they're at home, and that allows them to think of what they'll do when this is done or now. I think the second factor is, of course, mortgage rates, which are lower than they've ever been before. And then I think in general, with the stock market crashing, more and more people realize the value of real estate as an investment, as a personal investment, whether it's in your own house or as an investment itself. And so the interest is there, and we know that the issue is that a lot of the agents that are independent and on their own are not going to be able to serve those needs because they're too much and trying to do their own thing right now and getting through this time. But I've been very surprised. And so again, to anyone that wants to join, we'll do that on Monday, and we'll go in detail through the different states and see how lead generation is going. So back to you, Dwayne. I'm going to read a question that I'm getting while you go a little bit on what you're.
I was going to say one of the things that Sheena had hit on, and we all on this call, I'm assuming that the majority of people that are watching live or will watch this have sync platforms. I have a CRM. There's been no better time to play matchmaker than now, ever. I mean, there's a bunch of people that want to still sell their home, that want to make that next step, do that next thing in life, but they don't want 50 people in their house. They don't want 60 people in their house.
Of course,
right?
yeah.
They want to get it sold. They still want to have their terms met, but I mean, and we have those databases that can do that and that can make that happen. Our sellers are like, hey, I still want to sell. So if you've got someone, it's like, you bet I got somebody. I got 40,000 people in my database.
Well, here's the thing too about that. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, sellers don't decide that they don't want to sell anymore. I mean, the bulk of the time. So we're in selling season. The sellers that wanted to sell a month ago still want to sell. They don't know that you have the solution to keeping coronavirus at bay and minimum out of their house, right? So it's just like we've had sellers this past week, and it's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. If there's another agent that has the listing, we ask the agent to get us a walkthrough video, send it back to us. We'll edit it whatever we need to, and then we'll send it to our client, or we'll open up the client in Zoom or whatever, and we'll watch the video together. We've had instances where property had renters in it, and the renters didn't want to, they didn't want to, be inconvenienced. So we got on the phone. Our agent got on the phone with the renter and said, look, do me a favor. Will you walk through? We'll do FaceTime. Walk me through the house. I've got my client right here. They're going to ask any questions that they might have. I may ask you a few questions. And if you don't mind answering, when you come to that, issue in the house or whatever, please just respond. At the end of that, all right, we got the video, we got the FaceTime lives or whatever, walking through these properties. We're putting offers together. We've never been in these properties physically. We put the offer together, make an offer, agree to the terms with a contingency that says we're going to do a physical walkthrough whenever they say that it's safe, and whenever you feel safe and the buyer feels safe, or whenever they give us all clear, whatever. And so that we still have that contract in place, because when the floodgates open, and they're going to open and close, and open and close, open and close, you've got that built up already.
Shane, I think you answered the question there. So a question from Leslie. Here in Houston, we are in a stay-at-home order, but real estate is an essential part of the economy. We're only allowed to show vacant homes until April 3rd so far. Sellers are not letting most people in to view their homes, have encouraged listing agents to do a virtual tour and send us to share with our buyers. Until that time, we can actually go into the home. Very few are purchasing sight unseen. Any other suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, they may not purchase sight unseen, but encourage them, because we're still in a high demand market regardless. Even if the buyer pool's small, right, they're still out there purchasing. We have a pool of buyers that are stuck in transition that have to purchase a property. Encourage them to put an offer and make that offer contingent upon them actually getting to physically walk through. And this is all we have to think about. All of the agents on this call, for the most part, have dealt with out-of-state clients. And they're coming in, they're looking at this, and at various times have made offers on property, right? I'm gonna make an offer on it. Everything's good. Here's my proof of funds, cash, whatever. The only contingency besides typical contingencies, their appraisal and finance, whatever, is that we get the physical walkthrough by this date and time, right? So that's what we're doing right now. We're actually putting two different clauses in here. In that situation, we want to encourage the buyer to make the offer. And we want to set their mind at ease to know that they have a contingency that says if we can't get in the house by X date and time, that's off the deal, or we can renegotiate. And that's for the seller, gets the flexibility as well. And then we're also putting in a clause in there that says, if for some reason we've got this contract written for 30 days, 45 days, and for some reason the lender can't, if they got investors backing out, whatever, and we can't get this closed because of the lender, that we get an automatic additional 30 days extension. So that might be critical to everybody's listening to this call, because unfortunately there will be investors that pull the plug at closing. I've seen it happen this week, right? Yeah. Where the deal was at the closing table. They had the wire was ordered, and the investor backed out and yanked and recalled the wire before the closing ever took place, and the deal died right there. Now, does the buyer still want the property? Yes. Does the seller still want the property to sell? Yes. But because that clause is in there, there's no fault of the buyers, no fault of the sellers. It gets an automatic extension for another additional 30 days.
Yes. I think that's key, which is the business is going to happen. We need to be resilient and be prepared for it to take longer or take some attempts. But I think sorry, you go, Dwayne.
I was going to say it. Yeah, I mean, with building all that in, and then another piece on that question was, again, I mean, you have to use the technology that we have. Thank God that this all happened in today's day and age, right? We have the technology to overcome all this, and it's right. So to throw your phone on video, or to make a Facebook video call, or to use a Zoom call, right? It's just, if you allow it to be a limitation on what you do, it's going to be a limitation. If you want it to bear you down, then it's going to bear you down, right? Do what the majority of the agents aren't doing. So if you've got a seller, like someone mentioned, if you can't go out and you got a seller that still wants to sell their home, there's no reason why you can't have that seller jump on a Zoom call along with your buyer, and you as the agent in the middle directing it, right? We're not encouraging conversations between the two as much, but just saying, hey, I need you to just walk through the house, point your camera towards the house, and I'm going to give you directions on what we need to see and what we'd like to see. Hey,
Yeah.
I tell you what, let's start at the front door and let's work our way through the living room. Great. Can you take me through the dining room? Hey, can we take a look inside that closet? Oh, I tell you what, let's head down to the basement. You know, could you just do a little bit more of a closer view of that electrical panel, right? Oh, just back up just a bit, right? Just go in a little bit. Hey, that's perfect. Hey, how about, can you do a real slow pan through, right? You're not even in that house, and neither is your buyer, right? I think it's a roadblock on going, well, you gotta think outside that proverbial box and go, okay, if I can't do that, don't focus in on what you can't do, focus in on what you can do, right? So if that house is occupied, someone's in it, right, and you can't get in, or your board won't allow you, or your state, there's a way around that. You've got somebody in there that can hold a phone and shoot the video for you, and you can give them live call direction, right? So I think, again, it's just a matter of, do you allow it to be a roadblock? There's still agents throughout the U.S. that are on lockdown orders that can't do what we're doing, and they're selling homes.
Let's circle back around to Dwayne. How do you make a living in real estate? Problem solving.
Yes.
Right. So everybody's got to stop trying to sell real estate and start focusing on the problems. If you focus on the problems, okay, so we can't go into the houses. Everybody has a video technology, right? So just like Dwayne said, it might be a slow process. Pause on the breaker box, back up. Can you pan that? And we go, well, that's inconvenient. It's really not inconvenient. They get to stay in their home. They don't have to leave. You don't have to leave. Your client doesn't have to leave, right? And let's just say if it's the seller needs to do it on the occupied property, or if some sellers are okay with the listing agent entering the property and to do these videos, right? If we use what a lot of aspects we should have been using already, I'm not taking shots at anybody. I like things, my comfortable shoes and jeans and ball caps and t-shirts just like anybody. Dwayne knows that. That's my favorite tire. But the fact of the matter remains that we've had these technology and tools to use, and we all have used them when we have these out of area clients, these out of market clients. Crystal, I will address you had the question about resharing the video text. Okay. Well, I've been really pushing my agents for video text, period, because again, this whole call is on video. We're talking about video listing appointments. We're talking about video walkthroughs. We're talking about everything video. So now more than ever, it's all about video, and it's all about our audience is right here in front of us that needs stimulation, needs entertainment. So when we've got leads that hang up on us, right? We're going to turn right around and send that video and just say, hey, somehow we got disconnected. I just wanted to say we're in the same boat. Absolutely. We're in the same market together. We're calling through all of our contacts to see if there's anything we can do to help you, right? Do you know someone in need of food, water, shelter, the basic necessities of life? And if so, get back to us. Now, it's only 20 seconds, but you can model that around however you want to, but you can get that message out just like that. And the conversations with, and Dwayne's right. Most are answering the phone and having great conversations. Listen, now's not a time to judge. I got a 540 credit score. I just filed bankruptcy. Lend those people the ear, right? Yeah. Because you all know the secret of those people who come in trials and tribulations like that. If you give them a little assistance and handhold them till they get to that closing table, you don't have to ask. They go out to social media and tell everybody in the world how great you are, and they send you a ton of referrals. You don't even have to ask for them. So, and let's just say that the folks lose their job. You don't even have to lose the job. Let's just talk about leads we're having great conversations with that don't lose their job. hang up that phone and send that video text. You're doing so much with that video text. Everybody's, well, I look bad on video. No, you look exactly the same as you do right now. Right? Just look at Dwayne. This guy's sending video text. Could you imagine?
See this? This looks the same on camera as it does in person.
The only difference is without the fluorescence, your head doesn't shine. But the message is, at the end of the day, Crystal, the message
lost him?
About these clients in our marketplace. We want them to know that we care. That's the most important thing.
Well, we got the most important thing there.
We got the most important thing out of that because you froze up on the rest, but we still love you.
But,
I'm sorry. Are you pumping my brakes again, Dwayne? No, it was just we want, the most important message to these leads via video text is that we care and that we're here for them and we will help them through their situation. And I know that a lot of you guys are going, well, I don't have the resources to help all these people. Trust me. If you get in a bind, God will provide, and it's not a biblical statement, but you got resources. Look at the vendors that you work with. Look at the people that that reap the benefits of your business. They will step in to help you. I'm not making this statement to get a pat on the back, but we've been delivering groceries all week to leads in our database. Because our people are calling with their heart first, right? And it's, we open the doors, contact us via direct message. It's totally confidential. We will get groceries to you, whatever you need. We'll get those groceries to you, right? We will be blessed on the other side if we put our heart first on this side.
Well, absolutely will. On the text message, so we'll there's already a post in our Sync Mastermind, but we'll open it so that people can post their video texts there, both like proactive just about Corona, but then also like personal ones. I hope everyone knows, because of course everyone reads the emails that I send, that we've opened up video texting and video email to everyone for free, unlimited. So you can use as much of that as you want, and we encourage you to do it. As Shane was saying, what I love about video texting is that it's an unobtrusive way of you showing who you are. Because if you call on the phone, they need to decide to pick up. They need to invest in you, and they might not be ready for that. And if you send a normal text, then it's unobtrusive because they get to read it when they want, but they don't get to see who you are. And video text allows you the best of those two worlds. So we absolutely encourage everyone to do it. Dwayne, do you have any to share there that we might post after?
No, I know it's a redundant message, right? We just keep repeating it, but now's the time to be human.
Yeah.
Right. It's not the time to be a machine. It's not now's the time to really come from that point of caring and trust in the fact that if you do that right now, everything will be taken care of. Like you'll get your sales, you'll get your listings, you'll get what you need to be able to provide for other people. You have to come from that point of truly wanting to help and care for people in what's going on.
Servant mindset.
You should have, right? We all should have had that servant mindset, and everybody should have had that way before this happened, right? A whole nother story for another day, right? But here's your opportunity, and if you do that, your business will thrive, and you're gonna reap the benefits off of that for years to come. And and along the way throughout this entire thing, as you're helping people, guess what? They're gonna want to help you too. So they're gonna know somebody that still needs to sell or somebody that still needs to buy. And
yes.
You're gonna get that business, right? And it will come. And you just can't hide in a hole right now. If you go hide under your bed and you're wearing your daytime pajamas and then you change into your nighttime pajamas, right? Then guess what? I'm sorry, but you won't be there at the end. Yeah. Now is not the time to stop doing, right? Now is the time to do it even more.
Yeah.
Well, the difference between a leader and a follower is simply getting up and doing the work, right? And you know, it's about having faith. And honestly, a true leader, in my opinion, they fight a lot of battles out there that they don't know without a shadow of a doubt. It hasn't been written and documented in granite and stone that they're going to come out on the other side at 110%. But there's an underlying, commitment to the faith that it's going to work out, and it always does. It may not work out exactly like you intended for it to work out, but I'm telling you that the trials and tribulations of most successful people and probably the bulk of the people that are on this call, this is just another hurdle. This is another speed bump. Yeah, is this a pretty big speed bump? It is a pretty big speed bump. But everything else you faced in life was preparing you for this speed bump. So you just got to show up. And your people, listen, if you show weakness to your people, then they're going to show more weakness. I mean, it just is what it is. They can't see you sweat. That's, if you don't like that, come holler at me. I'll help you with it. Because, the fact of the matter is your people are relying on you. They're relying on you. Think about this. The more you guys prospect and the more that you reach out to help people, you're going to have some of those people in the community go, man, this is a pretty good company, pretty good team. These are pretty good people. I think I want to go to work with them after the storm clears. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Can they still get their real estate license online? Absolutely. What else are they doing in the house? Right? If they're sitting at home, and temporarily laid off, run a DISC profile test on them. If they look like a rock star, invest in them. What do you have to lose? Meet them in the middle, pay half their online tuition, let them get the license hanging and active. Who knows what might happen in the next 2 years down the road with them? Opportunity.
Awesome. So guys, we're getting to the time. I wanted to really thank you. I fully agree.
I'm not ready to go.
Yeah. No, but the rest of these type of events you've had like this, it's been like on a location with a beach and drinks.
Well,
and that right now is not happening. Like, I don't know. I want to read you.
Almost happened. So we were all together in Cabo, I think, a few weeks ago. We didn't know that this was coming, and now we're like, well, I'm glad we got back into the U.S. in time.
Listen, here's the thing. We wouldn't have done anything any different if we knew we'd be right here where we are today. We wouldn't have done anything different. Actually, we probably would have stayed longer in Cabo. We knew we were going to deal with this.
Not too long. But
yeah. A few extra days, just enough to get out.
No, it's. I really want to thank you guys because, again, we're all seeing the same things, and it's all about how we react to them, and that will define who we are. And so my final message, besides saying thank you to you two for this, and thank you for everyone that joined, is. This, all that we talked is true for you with your clients, it's true for us too. I'm open, anyone that wants to talk. I've been talking with more people than I've ever had. And this weekend I'm still open and have a lot of opportunities. So if you want to talk about your business, our business, where we're going, what is happening, or the world, or just vent, I'm happy to vent. I have a lot to vent about. So just reach out and let's talk. And we'll have another one Monday, 3 p.m. with our lead generation specialists. And then farther on the week, if you guys have ideas of states that you want us to address and go look for people and how they're dealing it in those states, just let me know and we'll go on that. Dwayne, you were going to say something?
And you hit on it, right? We have a phenomenal community. And there is more experts and more people that can help you in our community than anywhere else. That's the most amazing, right? That's the most amazing thing about this. Is why I go to masterminds. Is why I go to sync events, because the person on stage or the stuff you learn is good, but it's nowhere as good as the connections and the relationships. And now's your time, right? If you can't do business, or if you're doing less business, or whatever it is, reach out to those of us on the community. Reach out to those of us that are doing it, right? The Shane Kilbys and all those other ones that are in our community. They'll help you, even if it's just to talk or just to share ideas or whatever it may be. Now's the time to use those relationships, and reach out to your sync, person and to your support person. And right now's the time. Use the resources you have. We've got some of the most amazing leaders in real estate that are out there in this same community.
Indeed.
Lean on them. Now's your time to use them. Get on a Zoom call with them. Have them help you with your dashboard or with your leads, or just maybe just an outside the box type of thinking. There's nobody in our community that would ever say no. Nobody.
Nope. Well, and here's the thing too. It's like I've spent a lot of time. I mean, there have been so many giants ahead of us and ahead of my people and myself through that we've made contact with through Commissions Inc. over the years. And so, you know, I've always felt like, okay, you don't have a choice. And if I did have a choice, I'd do it anyway. But you're a servant from your core. So give back where people need, for people have given to you. And that's how I got to where we are, to where I am. And that's how our agents get to where they are, because they're givers, and we all give to them. Here's your action plan, right? Everybody needs an action plan, okay? Because we've been on this call an hour, and it's some good information. But here when we get off this call, you know, action plan moves forward immediately. But you need to sit down and you need to write down all of the problems that you have in your business and in life and personal today, right now. And then you need to go over here to the side and you need to start prioritizing those in the order that are the hottest fires. Then you need to take each one of those fires that you prioritize, and then you need to create a solution for that pain, right? All we have to do is seek out the problems and facilitate the solution. If you don't have the solution, you have the resources around you in Commissions Inc. and all of the members of the platform owners in Commissions Inc. You've got resources. You don't. If you're tapped to reach out here and pay someone to help you put out these fires, you got more of knowledge in this group than you could ever put together, no matter what your budget is. If you were to go out and buy it, find the problems, create the solution, and keep moving forward. That's it. Simple and sweet.
Awesome, guys. Well, and someone else there, I'm sure Jamie will follow up to everyone that attended to say where I think we have recorded this, and we're gonna share it so that people can play it again. Again, thank you guys. This has been awesome. I love you for doing this, and thank you everyone else for joining us and participating and asking questions. See you if you're available on Monday at 3 p.m. and we'll go specifically on lead gen and lead gen in coronavirus times.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
the opportunity.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir.